Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Today, we'll be talking about an Amazon FBA business for sale, and I've got the seller with me today. So welcome to the show, Ben. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. Really looking forward to talking about your business. Let's just go over a brief summary of the business for our listeners. So today's listing is an Amazon FBA and e-commerce business created in April 2014 in the office supply niche. The average monthly revenue for the business is $77,959, and it makes an average of $26,070 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are a listing transfer of 87 SKUs, a domain including all the site's contents and files, a trademark registered with Amazon's brand registry, an email list with around 1,700 subscribers, SOPs, supply contracts and relationships, employee contracts, and social media accounts. Please note that inventory isn't normally included in the listing price and further details can be provided to active buyers. And also please note that the sale of this business will be a listing transfer. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 54096 to learn more about the business. Or you can unlock the listing if you want to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. Ben, that's a very general overview of the business. Let's share and dig into your background a bit. Can you tell me a bit about your background in building or running online businesses?
Yeah, I've been working for online businesses for quite a while. I had several brands that was selling through e-commerce platforms in the early 2000s and got introduced to the Amazon platform in maybe 2007, one of our brands, and just found it to be really a great platform to, for new customer acquisition. And during that process, we've launched a bunch of brands and have seen a lot of really good success on Amazon.
For sure, that makes sense. Can you share with me why you chose to set up a business in this niche in particular?
Yeah, it's a fun story. Actually, in 2013, and for the holidays, my kids got me a map of the United States with magnets that you could put on it for the places you've been. And, it was a great map, but it only came with 40 pins. So at the end of Christmas, we wanted to go try to find some more magnetic pins for the map, and we just couldn't find it anywhere. And the ones we did find were extremely expensive. So just as a kind of fun thing, since I had relationships with a bunch of suppliers in China and wanted to help my kids start a business, we found a supplier and bought our first 10,000 pins and put them together in packages and put them on Amazon. And within 3 weeks, we were sold out. So it was clear we found a nice niche. And from there, we started growing it, adding more and more SKUs, different colors, different kinds, and got into some other office products. And then from that, started to create a good brand that, had a meaning in the office products business and saw additional growth. And so it's been a fun journey, and, we're really proud of the business we built.
For sure. No, that is definitely a great little story there. You've spent these years scaling the business to such a great size. Why are you selling the business right now instead of staying with it and growing it?
Yeah, I think that along our journey, we like to grow brands and businesses, and we've got several other businesses right now that we've got a lot of time and effort into, and they're a little bit more in our specialty. This was as I said, it was a project that started with our kids, my kids, and grew into something that was bigger, but there's some other brands that we have more specific expertise in that we'd like to continue to grow really outside of Amazon. I do think this niche is more suited for Amazon and not growing beyond Amazon probably, unless you had a specific experience in the office products business. So I think it just will be more effective in other person's hands, would have more time to focus on the products and growing within Amazon and potentially outside of Amazon through our own website, which, is beautiful. It's a great job, but we haven't really put time into growing our .com business as well as, potentially growing into retail outlets in the office product space, which we don't have a lot of expertise. So I think it's just a matter of getting in the right person's hands that could, help continue the growth of the company.
Yeah, it makes sense. It'd be great to see the sale of this business so that you can, like you say, take that capital and accelerate the growth of your other business ventures, for sure. Let me ask you, because I just want to understand a bit about your experience. As you were building this business, did you learn anything that you'd be applying to future sites or businesses?
Yeah, I think some of the things we learned, first of all, I think we learned that we originally had a brand name that we weren't able to trademark. It was too common. And I think that cost us, we were able to shift in about a year and a half in and did get a trademark and got it registered with Amazon. And that has made a big difference in our business because, we now don't have to defend our buy box, and with brand registry, you really own the listings in a more meaningful way. So I think that was clearly something that we learned a lot, that the brand means a lot more on Amazon than what we were originally thinking. So I think that's certainly a lesson learned. I think the other lesson learned is you've really got to pay attention to Amazon advertising and get in the grimble of it and make sure that you're maximizing your profitability as well as your sales. There's a lot of opportunity to do really well with Amazon advertising, and there's a lot of opportunity to waste money. So I think putting more resources behind, being more technically savvy with Amazon advertising has proven to make the business more profitable.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely makes a lot of sense. You've just shared about, some really good tips on things that will help you scale any FBA business. Was there anything that you tried that wasn't really giving you the ROI you were hoping for?
Yeah, I think there certainly was. We did get into some larger niches in the office products business. In particular, we saw a big niche with like dry erase markers. It was a pretty big business, but I think in retrospect that was a mistake because it was a large size business, but there was a lot of competitors and there wasn't a lot of differentiation, and we didn't really have a very differentiated product. So I felt like that was a waste of time to get into a big niche without a significantly differentiated product. I think what we've learned is getting in smaller mid-sized niches and then providing some sort of differentiation is a way to, get a foothold in a segment of the office products business and then leverage that by spending the time and doing all the right things. But I think, lesson learned to stay in your niche and then try to find a way to differentiate through new product development.
For sure. Is there any software or tools that you're using that's helping you to run or even grow the business?
Yeah, we really like Helium 10. Helium 10 is a good platform. We run a lot of our ad campaigns through there. We run a lot of our keyword analysis and just, listings optimization, and that as well as data analytics. It's a great software platform. We've worked with other platforms like Jungle Scout. Now, they're all fairly similar, so I don't think it matters what platform. If a buyer currently has another platform, I think that probably is just fine. But Helium, if a buyer doesn't have a platform, I would definitely recommend Helium 10.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to move over to the marketing side of things. What do you currently do in terms of marketing for the business?
I think the big one we spend a lot of time on is Amazon advertising. We do a lot of, obviously, within Amazon advertising through sponsored display, sponsored product, and sponsored brand. And, we spend a lot of time harvesting keywords through auto campaigns, optimizing ACOS, doing all the blocking and tackling that's required. And that's sort of one of the main things we do. I think there's a lot of opportunity with this brand to potentially advertise outside of Amazon and bring people either to our .com or back into Amazon. That's something that we haven't spent a lot of time on, but I think there's opportunity there.
For sure, yeah. So it sounds like you said, Amazon ads seems to be your wheelhouse, but at the same time, it sounds like you've managed to diversify the type of content that you put out there as well. I was just going to ask you, Ben, I guess as an extension of what you were saying there, can you also describe what's the type of work that you do to try and maintain the business on like a day-to-day or even a weekly basis?
Sure. And I think one of the first things, we have a lot of different subcategories, but working on supply chain and logistics on a monthly basis, we do an analysis of all of our inventory in our warehouse as well as in Amazon's warehouse to determine with lead times with our suppliers overseas, what we need to order. So we order that on a monthly basis. And then on a weekly basis, we spend time analyzing what we need to bring into Amazon warehouses. So that's sort of logistics. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's super important work. It requires some technical skills. And then the next thing is just managing Amazon advertising. We do use a third-party tool called Metrics, which manages our bids on an hourly basis. It's like an automated system that works quite well. I would recommend that. And with that, we are managing that bidding on probably a couple times a week. And then keyword harvesting, researching, spend time on advertising. Most of the listings are pretty stable and they've got great photography. They've got great content. And so we spend a little bit of time making sure all of the content is up to speed, nothing broken. And then the third leg of that is we spend time with product development. As a buyer, I would recommend that you try to research different products within the office product space to launch, 3 to 5 new products a year to keep that growth focused. So those are the main areas of the business we spend time on.
For sure. Makes sense. Can you share with me, if you did stay with the business, what would be some of the ways that you'd be trying to grow it or expand it?
Sure. I think we just got off the discussion of new product development. I think it's super important as you continue to grow the business, you're working on new product development, thinking and researching about other products and niches that you think that would be a good fit to grow the business is one way to grow it. I think the other way is I think there's a lot of opportunity overseas, particularly with Canada, the Canadian marketplace, and eventually Europe. And to some degree Japan, because most of these products are small and they're easily shipped, so they don't cost a lot of money to ship. And we've tested a little bit in the Canadian market. I think there's a lot of opportunity there as well as Europe. So I would definitely use those platforms. We've not spent the time really that we should have on Walmart platform as well. I think the Walmart could grow quite a bit. So I think new platforms, new products. And then I think working probably a little bit more hours on expanding the advertising campaigns within Amazon. And to be honest with you, probably another area would be to look at doing off Amazon advertising through Google, maybe Instagram, Facebook, to work on developing and growing the website, which we haven't spent a lot of time on.
For sure, yeah, that's great. It definitely sounds like there's lots of avenues for growth there. What would you describe as some of the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Yeah, I think the two biggest risks would be, I think as Amazon continues to develop as a platform and becomes more dominant, we are seeing ad costs go up. So I think it's super important to be very mindful of advertising costs and developing and spending the time to maximize profitability there. I think ad costs will become tighter and tighter over time. And I think the other thing is there are several overseas suppliers that are coming in and I would say dumping product. It tends to be cheaper product and not very well branded. And that's where I think it's super important for, a buyer to be focused on the brand and make sure that the packaging is, I think giving really good photography, showing the packaging, showing that it's a legit brand, that it's not just an overseas low quality brand. I think it's super important to differentiate some of these overseas competitors coming in and just being focused on price.
For sure, that's definitely really useful to know. I mean, really, last few questions from me here, Ben. How much support are you offering buyers?
I have a personal interest in this. I mean, obviously my kids and I started the business. I think we care about the brand, we care about the products, and we want to see it grow and be around for a long time. So I totally would take weekly calls for the first 60 days, any questions you might have. And then obviously from there, just email support. And I'm very interested in seeing the business be a success and have this transaction be a win-win.
That's definitely great to hear. Are you willing to commit to a non-compete?
Absolutely.
And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
Yeah, I'm open to it. I think, albeit we would definitely want a significant portion of the purchase price up front, and then deal terms obviously can be negotiated, but we're willing to be flexible with deal terms.
That's awesome. Last question from me, really. If you put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why would you say that this is a business worth buying?
That's a good question. There's several reasons. I think it's just that we've really spent a lot of time on the quality aspect of the product. all of our products have more than 4 stars. Most of them have 4.5 stars, and they all have over 50, most several hundred reviews. Several have over several thousand reviews, which is an indication that the products are very high quality. And I think because the products are high quality, we can really represent a high quality brand as well. So, I think the branding is really strong. I think the website is great. In general, I think it's important on Amazon as Amazon continues to grow to have a very strong brand with high quality products, high quality branding and good customer service. And I think we have done that. So as long as the buyer continues to do that, I think it's a very strong brand that will be around for a long time. I think that's sort of a major, point in our favor. I think the other thing is I think there's just a lot of opportunity. We don't have the time to focus on it, but I think with, the new channels we discussed with international, with Walmart, with our own website, there's a lot of opportunity to growth. I think there's also a lot of opportunity in that, the business came off. It's actually first year, this last 12 months or so, we're actually down year over year. And that's more of an indication of COVID. And we got hit pretty hard because of, COVID. A lot of people are buying office products, a lot less because they're not in the office. And there's also a lot of our buyers are buying for schools as office products, and schools were closed down. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to rebound and see a lot of growth there. So I think it's just the brand and the growth potential really make this, I think, an attractive business if a buyer has the time and the resources to focus on growing the brand and, and the channels.
That's definitely really useful to know, for sure. Is there anything you'd like to share that you think I might have missed?
No, I think this has been great. I feel like it's a great brand, and I'm really just looking forward to finding a partner that's win-win, that we can come together and continue to, have this brand grow and be successful.
Definitely. Well, Ben, thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. We're really looking forward to seeing your business get picked up by the right buyer in the not too distant future.
That sounds great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 54096. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked the listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.